One more time. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. All right. Thank you guys for being here. My name is Uma, and today we are talking about a lot of things, but really and truly the power of love and unity. The power of love and unity. We had the Super Bowl yesterday. Shout out to the Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl. But, I like to say Bad Bunny won the Super Bowl yesterday, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Bad Bunny won the Super Bowl yesterday. He was epic. It was amazing. That's why I'm wearing my bunny ears in solidarity with Bad Bunny. So super incredible. And I love seeing just all the nations come together, everybody moving together, dancing together as one. And it's definitely a message that I like to preach. Speaking of messages, inspirational messages, I would like to introduce you guys to somebody really brand new to my show. And hopefully he likes it here and he wants to stick around and be part of the show going forward. His name is Egyptian. He is a MeetMe live streamer, and we are about to have a motivational minute with Egyptian. So, guys, please put some clapping hand emojis in the comments, and let's welcome my new friend, Egyptian. Hi.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great,
Welcome
Egyptian. How are
to the
you?
Motivational Minute. No, I'm the great King Egyptian. Today, we're going to talk about George Washington Carver. I don't know if, I'm sure everybody knows about in school, but I think predominantly most people only know him just for peanuts, but and he was definitely famous for peanuts, definitely famous for the use of about 300 different styles of using peanuts. One more than any is peanut oil. That's really why peanuts was something that he was prominent for, because peanut oil is used in almost everything that we use today. But what I would like to pinpoint about George Washington Carver is that he was more famous for his mindset on being able to use soil. And that's why he was actually so famous. His uses in soil and his crop rotation and soil health is really why he became popular, because if you had crops at the time, which cotton was more popular at the time, and what people would do is they would just have fields of cotton, and that's all they would actually be able to grow. Not George Washington Carver. But what he did was he taught people how to rotate their crops and grow different crops every year, grow some crops during the wintertime, so that they could capitalize on not just growing one thing, but growing multiple things. And this transitioned the trade of crops into something that became financially lucrative. Thus is why some farms that used to have to trade corn, they no longer had to, because they could grow their own. And based on not just that, even afterwards, after that, he was a scientist in a multitude of one thing he was more prominently known for as well was a traveling wagon, that he would take all of his information about agriculture and he would put it on a wagon and he would just send it like a school. And this is how he taught. Yes, he was black. This is how he taught people how to farm in a time where social media didn't exist, because everything was word of mouth.
Wow.
I think that it's very important even now with us having the mindsets that we have and having the ability to utilize social media to be able to understand our creative uniqueness and to be able to capitalize on such a thing. Because that's what he did. He capitalized on his creative uniqueness at a time frame where, everything was stagnated and stifled. And, this is one of the most important things about not only just having culture or being black, but just naturally knowing yourself enough to know what kind of talent you have.
Right. I didn't know all this stuff about him. So this is amazing. And we are shouting out, guys, we are shouting out Black creators this month for Black History Month, in case you guys don't forget. So every Monday that Egyptian comes in, he will be shouting out some beautiful people of our past, the Black creators.
And one thing I've seen you do that was very beautiful is, take a deep breath. And that's my affirmation for today is take a deep breath. Because especially being an adult, having all of the frustrations that we have, having everything that can hold you back and everything in social media, and just so many different challenges. Like, you got to just stop and you just got to take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, gather your mind, and just be able to relax just for a moment so that you stay calm and world of chaos. Take a deep
Agreed.
breath.
Agreed. Thank you so much, Egyptian. Do you have anybody else for us? You still got some time.
We can talk about some people. I don't know if anybody know about any activists of civil rights movements, but one of my favorite ones is Kwesi Mfume. And
Okay.
Kwesi Mfume was one of the CEOs and leaders of the civil rights movement, and he stuck behind almost every civil rights leader, all the way down to Thurgood Marshall, who was one of the most prominent lawyers in the NAACP. They made a movie about it with what's his name, Chad Boswick, I think that's his name or whatever. But they made a movie about it. If you've never seen it, you should definitely go and watch it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just to connect a few, you know what I'm saying, African American leaders. You know what I'm saying? And you got people like Langston Hughes, who was connected with Thurgood Marshall along with the civil rights and, the movements, and helping Black people understand their rights and how the law works, and being able to be free and what it means to be free. Even in a time where, people were not only understanding the Constitution, but they were bound by the Constitution that stagnated people into being able to live a free life. So I hope that everybody understands what it means to have freedoms and what it means to have free will. Because that was something that was taken from people and torn from people for eons of years. And, now we have the right to basically do anything that we want. You got billionaire business owners, and, your race doesn't matter. Everybody's royalty, and your race does not matter anymore. We live in that kind of country. That's what Black History Month is really about. Just remembering what people sacrificed for us to have the liberties that we have today, to own a phone, to be able to communicate, to have religious freedoms, to have your own beliefs, to be a president.
Mm.
So imagine where we've come from. We had a Black president. We've lived to see a Black president in a country that was built on the backs of Black people. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine what you can accomplish if you use your free will and your creative intuition.
I love it. You guys, please hit a fave on Egyptian. Egyptian, before you go, do you want to tell us about your stream schedule, when you do stream or when you come on here?
I mean, I just stream when I feel like it. I feel like it.
He's moved by the energy.
Stream, I go live. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Free will. You know what I'm saying? Free will.
Facts.
It should be fun. I encourage everybody to, no matter how serious you take this, to also embody and engulf that part of it that makes it fun. What I'm saying? I think that's one thing that people embody about you, is that you make it fun, you make it interesting, what I'm saying? You bring the energy, and that's what it should be about, making it fun, So I don't really have a schedule as to when I stream, but, if I'm called upon a lot, I'll just go live. If people are like, why you ain't been live? Maybe I should go. So that's when I go live.
I would love it.
You want to talk? I'm always willing to go live.
I'm never on this app outside of when I'm streaming, but if I ever know you're live, I hope to be in your stream. I know it's going to be a good time. Well, thank you so much, Egyptian, for coming in. This is the Motivational Minute with Egyptian, and he is our new healer, our new light worker on the Uma's Lotus Lounge show, and we're going to be seeing him every Monday.
Please, I appreciate you. Thank you, love.
You're welcome. Peace and love to you, Egyptian. Welcome in, everyone. This is the Uma's Lotus Lounge featured show here on the MeetMe app. So blessed with your presence today. Are you guys like in love with Egyptian as much as I am? His beautiful spirit, his positive attitude, right? You're going to give him a follow. That's exactly what I want. A lot of people say that this app has become very toxic. But I feel like the light workers are out there. And I call anybody who has light within them a light worker. Whether you're choosing to work on your own light, right? You're choosing to better yourself in some way. Hi, Malzahn. Or you're choosing to help other people better their light. Egyptian and I have not talked about it yet, but you guys know on Saturday is Valentine's Day. I am putting together a stream for Friday night with myself, an Egyptian, and some other light workers from the app to do a self-love and conscious love stream. Would you guys like that? Hi, Savage. I have to look down for the comments because my comments unfortunately stuck on the screen. So if you guys see me looking down, that's the only way I can see your comments. I didn't realize the comments were broken until Egyptian said something. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. So put a 1 in the comments if you guys would like to see a self-love, conscious love stream on a Friday night. Savage, yeah, where we will talk about Egyptian will talk about self-love. I will talk about conscious love, and then we'll take your questions, whatever questions you have about creating self-love or conscious love. You guys know I'm in a 5-year relationship with my soulmate, so I can share information about that for the Valentine's weekend. All right, welcome in everyone. Let's move now to our energy message of the week. This is going to be an overview of the collective energy. What is the collective consciousness wanting? Are we in a dark place? Is it going to be helpful information? Or are we in a good place? It's going to be more high vibing, high thriving, right? I always know from this card that I pull, it is the divine energy message of the week. So our card today is live life to the fullest. All right, live life to the fullest. So here we go. What aspects of life are you avoiding? Where do you hold yourself back out of fear of the unknown? Where do you hold yourself back because of past conditioning? What experiences do you wonder about, long for, and envy? Your divine energy is calling you to break out of your habitual self-identity and routine and experience all that beckons you in life. That's a big message. So this week, do you have the courage to challenge yourself to the fullest and to pursue your passions without reservation? Tell me in the comments. You could say, no, Uma, I'm going to be honest with you. I want to live in my comfort zone this week. That's okay, right? But how many of you are willing to challenge yourself? For those of you on the MeetMe app, you know I'm in the top 60. I'm currently number 31 in this contest. Can I tell you something? This was a challenge for me because I am a content creator streamer, so I don't come on asking for diamonds or doing contests, right? But I wanted to challenge myself, for myself, my community, because in my head I was thinking, how proud would my Lotus Lounge family on streams be if they saw me make it to the reality show, right? It was something for me to think about because I am conscious about my weight. And we know people troll you on these apps and mention everything, right? But I said, if I made it to this TV show, if I got to be one of the lucky top 4 going, I said, that would be a gift from God, right? And if that's a gift from God, then who am I to be ashamed of showing up and representing the conscious community? I'm going to do it, right? Virgo says, I'm very insecure of my weight too. Girl, yes, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. But I talk about it a lot because I want people to know. Sometimes people look at me and how much I've accomplished in life, and they feel like I don't have my own insecurities. But I do. I have lots of insecurities. But I'm happy to talk about them because I want you guys to know you're not alone. Even successful people, right, suffer from these things too. They just don't talk about it as much. That's why I talk about it so much. Welcome in, everyone. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge. It's a featured show here. I am in the running to be part of the top 4, but right now I would settle to be in the top 20. All right. So your gifts are appreciated. Egyptian, thank you. All right, let's move on. That was our message of the week. Hi, Chad. It is definitely hard to face insecurities. Let's move on to the astrology of this week. Put a 1 in the comments. Do you want to know what the astrology is this week so you can have an idea about what's coming? Savage does, Queen does, Chad. Okay, I got you. Well, we're going to do the horoscopes. I see somebody put in there that they're a Cancer. I get it. We are going to do the horoscopes, but let's start with the astrology this week and what's going on. All right. Sanjay, you cannot request the box. This is a featured stream. So we cannot have guests unless they are guests that have contracted to be part of this show. Okay. All right. So did you know today we had the last quarter moon? It occurred today. And the last quarter moon phase points to some sort of crisis of consciousness. Let's break that down. After basking in the awareness symbolized by the full light of the moon at the time of the recent full moon, we disperse our knowledge and come to a point when we need to sort out what works for us and what doesn't in preparation for next week's new moon, when something new is born once again. So I had a friend text me and she said, after watching the Bad Bunny halftime show at the Super Bowl, she decided to unfriend and block people in her life that were undercover racists. I was like, what? But she did. She, I think what it was she was tolerating a lot of people that she knew, right? Um, that had that side to them. And after watching the Bad Bunny show, she just realized I don't need to be around those people. I need to be around people who love each other, right? Do you guys feel that way? Do you just want to be around people? Yeah, Chad, I agree. People are going to start to take a real stand. I took it today when a certain individual came into my stream, and he's a very strong supporter of MAGA. And I said, I need to let you know you're not welcome here. I'm not going to kick you out, but I just want you to know I don't really want to be around you, even though you keep jumping in the box and talking to me and whatnot. Your views, I can't get over your views. So that's what that is, that last quarter moon is talking about. We're preparing for next week's new moon. So if you find that this week you're kind of like weighing the pros and cons of people, of things, that's that energy of that quarter moon. Everybody understand? Put a 1 in the comments. Do you understand? Yeah? Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. Now, we also have the sun in Aquarius still. Shout out to Aquarius birthdays, right? Queen, you already had your birthday? With the sun in Aquarius, we are motivated by our hunger for knowledge, experience, and originality. Happy birthday, Queen. Innovation is more important to us than convention. We become more aware of what is outdated in our lives and strive to find new perspectives and new ways to do things. So if you've been feeling to break out, right, be more original, follow your own path. That's what the sun in Aquarius brings to you. Did you know that we also have Mercury in Pisces? When Mercury is in Pisces, our thinking processes are more visual, intuitive, and imaginative. Have you guys been having a lot of random thoughts, right? Yeah, Savage says yes. We're especially attuned to the world of emotion, which colors both our thoughts and our communication style. So this week you can expect to guess well, express yourselves with imagery. Look, I'm wearing ears. You guys are like, why is she wearing ears? Bad Bunny, right? Had to find a way to represent, show my love, not just talk about it. I want to be about it. That would be the energy of Mercury and Pisces. By the way, did you guys know that Bad Bunny is double Pisces? He has a Pisces sun and a Pisces moon. That explains a lot, doesn't it, guys? But with Mercury and Pisces, it's not always easy to verbalize our impressions during the cycle. We don't really enjoy labeling things. So if some of you women out there are dealing with men that's really not in that energy of putting a label on it, not to make an excuse for their bad behavior, but this is partly what it is, right? It's like realizing that life isn't black and white. You can't put it in black and white. There's like a lot of gray area, right? Please be aware though that we are more sensitive and impressionable, which means we can take in more than usual and it can overwhelm us. So for those of you that like to every now and then visit the toxic streams, you might want to limit that. For those of you that like to entertain people that are a drain on your energy, this week you might want to limit that, because whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're watching, being around, surrounded by, is what is really imprinting, okay? Most things are great, absolutely. Now, we have Venus in Aquarius, but that is changing on February 10th. So tomorrow, we have Venus in Aquarius up until today. This is where we treat people as equals and take our friendships, causes, and interests seriously, prizing intellectual stimulation and companionship. But now, tomorrow, we're going to have Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces is tender, affectionate. Borders and boundaries blur under Venus in Pisces, right? Now, there is a shadow side to this, guys, because with Venus in Pisces, we allow ourselves to be deceived because we want to believe. So you might not be so strong against red flags this week. Just to let you guys know, right? You want to watch out for falling in love with someone this week that's more like an idealized version, right? And also watch for avoidant or indirect behavior. No, not yet. Welcome in. We also have Mars in Aquarius this week. So you may be attracted to unconventional methods and approach problems from an intellectual, detached perspective. All right. Okay. So that is the astrology this week. Clearly, we're getting ready for next week's new moon. You guys see that, right? Like from all the things that we just talked about, you're getting more logical. You're looking at things, but remember, we have that Venus and Pisces happening. So that's going to kind of mess us up a little. Just be aware of that, guys, okay? Thank you. Let's get into the horoscopes for everyone. So I'm going to, if I say a sign and you're not here, if I say Aries and nobody puts the Aries in the comments, I'm going to skip over it. I'm going to be real honest with you guys, okay? I'm not going to completely skip it. I'm going to say a little bit about it just because I don't want to waste time on that if nobody's here to receive it, okay? So we're going to first start with Aries. Do we have any Aries here? Let me make sure I look everywhere. No Aries. Okay. So Aries, Saturn move into your sign this week will send you off on a new path. In fact, this new path might be so different, your daily wardrobe will change. All right? That's for Aries. Taurus, do we have any Tauruses? Chat, got you. I'm going to give the whole thing because we have a Taurus in here. Taurus, expect to start going through closets, garages, and storage areas to get rid of what you no longer need. You will also let go of people and places because the next few years will be a time of streamlining and downsizing. This is not a loss. Au contraire, you are lightening your load. You will feel a sense of closure as you establish boundaries and let go of attitudes and habits that no longer serve your purpose. This is an opportunity to create self-discipline, which you will use to improve home and family, as well as explore creative opportunities in the arts, fun, and pleasure. All right. That is for Taurus. Do we have any Geminis in here? Downsizing Egyptian. Any Geminis? All right. We're going to go quickly for Geminis. Geminis, in the next 2 years, you'll be more serious about your friendships and your alliances with groups and organizations. Whereas in the past, certain interactions might have been rewarding. Going forward, you might find some friendships no longer give you the same results. That's for Geminis. Any Cancer in here? Cancer, I think somebody said earlier, are they still here? All right, we're going to go quickly through Cancer. Cancer, Saturn moves to the top of your chart this week, which means you will feel proud of your achievements in the next few years. This will relate to whatever is going on right now in your life. You might be proud to graduate from school, university, or a training course. All right. Certainly others will respect you. All right, Leos. What about Leos? Do we have Leo in here? Welcome in, everyone. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge, a featured stream here on the MeetMe app. So blessed to have you here. Don't forget to hit that save, and gifts are appreciated. All right, Leo, we're going to sum it up. In the next few years, serious study will become meaningful for you. You might redefine your belief system. You might be inspired by new philosophies or choose to educate yourself further. Virgo, I see a Virgo. All right, Virgo, in the next 2 to 3 years, you will work to pull your act together in terms of debt, finances, shared property, taxes, and inheritances. Issues you might have avoided will now come to the fore, demanding your attention. Fear not, you will approach these areas with more realism, acceptance, discipline, and determination. You will even feel a sense of pleasure and accomplishment by sorting out loose details and getting on top of things. Other people's resources might be cut off or reduced, which will force you to stand on your own 2 feet. It's a time of maturation and growing up in terms of being responsible for yourself. Okay. Libra. I know a Libra is in here. I'm going to do Libra. Saturn will be opposite your sign for the next 2 years, testing partnerships and relationships. Relationships that are shaky might end. Other relationships will deal with these same tests and become stronger by making you assume responsibility for your actions and how they impact others. You'll discover how important it is to live up to the agreements, which are written literally or invisibly on the wall. Your challenge will be to live up to these expectations. It doesn't matter what they actually are because it's all about your relationship with someone. You might receive recognition for your work because you're striking out with new ambitions for yourself. You're welcome. All right, do we have any Scorpios in here? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Scorpio? No Scorpios. Scorpio, this week, Saturn returns to Aries for the first time since the mid-90s. It will be in that sign for several years, and it's interesting to note that Aries is similar to Scorpio. You will find that you're developing a more serious attitude and personal discipline to work hard and achieve more. Suddenly, you're gung-ho to accomplish as much as possible because you sense that your effectiveness as a human being is being tested. However, do not overwork or strain yourself. Treat your body as a tool that needs to be well cared for. Your determination to achieve as much as possible could lead to burnout in a few cases. All right, Sagittarius. Do we have Sagittarius? Let me just do this. Okay. Sagittarius, you are a long-lived sign who wants a well-planned ending in terms of making a will, establishing a home for yourself, and creating a situation that is favorable for your family. In the next few years, you will feel a stronger desire to explore those values more than ever, which is why you will do what you can to establish a firm base for yourself and your family. You might tackle major home repairs, you might move again, you will do whatever you can to solidify your home base. Some of you might expand your family. It's also a time of new beginnings for you because you now have a sense of who you are. Your future is wide open. All right, Aquarius. Do we have Aquarius in here? Oh, I'm sorry, Capricorn. How did I skip Capricorn? All right, 1 second, Aquarius. I got to do Capricorn. Capricorn, you are a long-lived. Oh, that was Capricorn. I skipped Sagittarius. Was there any Sagittarius in here? That was Capricorn that I just read. Any Capricorns didn't hear it? I apologize. All right, let's do Aquarius. Saturn deals with form, structure, and the real world. Just the facts, ma'am. This week, Saturn changes signs, which is an indication that in the next 2 to 3 years, you will have a job change, a residential move, or both. As you read these words, you might think this won't happen, but for many, it will. You're putting the final stages on the new you, and this finishing process wants you to experience a different daily milieu, to refine how you see your world and how you communicate on a day-to-day basis. It's often why we go on vacation, because we suddenly see things with fresh eyes. You might also withdraw a bit from your day-to-day world. Remember to focus on what is, not what you think it should be. Thank you. All right, and finally, Pisces. Pisces, this week you'll feel like a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. Do you know Bad Bunny is Pisces? I keep mentioning that. I kid you not, you'll feel younger, more energetic, more enthusiastic, and certainly more hopeful about your future. You'll be less afraid to make ambitious plans. You'll be more willing to dip your toe into the proverbial water. Jump in, it's great. You will feel that things are starting to fall into place, and they kind of look like a plan for your future. Dare we say, we did. You have come through the dark night of the soul and you have survived. It's time now to learn what you truly value in life. Yeah, and reading that and just think, because I didn't think about Jen, but reading that and just thinking about Bad Bunny, right? Like, wow, doesn't that feel like fitting for him after all that he did, right? Things are starting to fall into place. Those are the weekly horoscopes for each of the zodiac signs. All right, guys, welcome in. We're now going to bring you to a part of the show that I really love. It is called the Positive News segment. Yay! Put a 1 in the comments if you're ready to get some positive news, because you're just so inundated with negative news in the world, right? I don't have the use of my phone to actually show you pictures because my comments broke on my main screen, so I'm using my backup phone to see comments. Thank you, Queen. Remember, guys, for those of you that are on MeetMe, you get a reading at the end of the show if you send the 1K gift, the wheel. And for those of you that are on TikTok, you get a reading at the end of the show for the whale gift. All right, those are the 2 gifts that we have up. All right, let's get our first positive news for our positive news segment. Did you know that as of February, Flint, Michigan has officially replaced. Hi, Kauai. Top badge Kauai is in the building, guys. Please feel free to hit her with a fave. She has the beautiful Gen Wars um, featured stream at 8 p.m. tonight. Is it 8 p.m.? I believe. 10 p.m. I'm so sorry. 10 p.m. tonight, it is Gen Wars. I've been on the show. It's fun. It's amazing. Check it out. She is also a featured stream host. Hit her with a fave. And she is, like me, also in the contest for the top 60. Hashtag OLCC show. So please feel free to bless her with gifts as you guys are blessing me with gifts. We really, at this point, want to make it to the top 20. Right? Sin, what's up, Sin? So if y'all could get me to the top 20, I would be ever grateful. All right, time for our positive news segment. Did you guys know that as of recent, Flint, Michigan has officially replaced all 11,000 lead pipes after 10 years of activists refusing to give up? 10 years, guys. Every home now has clean water, a true victory for people power. Let's get some clock it. Thank you. Clock it, right? That's good news. Oh, guys, can I ask, why did it take us 10 years to get the beautiful people in Michigan water, right? My baby. Why did it take us 10 years? But thankfully, thanks to the activists, right? We got clean water in Michigan. Are we happy and excited about that? Heck yeah. Thank you. Okay. Here's my second piece of positive good news. Did you know that a Dutch supermarket chain, it's called Jumbo. So when you're in Holland, Amsterdam, you go and see a supermarket there called Jumbo. Did you know that there is a Dutch supermarket chain called Jumbo who introduced special slow checkouts? It's called chat checkouts, where customers who aren't in a hurry can take extra time to talk with the cashier as part of an effort to reduce loneliness. The idea works so well that Jumbo rolled it out to around 200 stores across the Netherlands. Many locations also added chat corners, cozy spots where locals can sit, have coffee, and talk. It's a small change with a meaningful impact because sometimes what people need most is to be noticed. I really love that news because part of the reason why I do streaming is for the chat concept, right? I want to create these streams where you guys would feel like this is your coffee shop. You come here, we talk about ideas, we talk about events, talk about philosophies, or we just get to know each other, you know? So I love this idea. What do you guys think about these slow checkouts? Do you think all supermarkets should have a slow checkout? You know what I think of most? I think mostly of older people because when people get older and their children are grown, the children get married and move away or have children or have jobs. But a lot of times, older, not just Americans, older people are living by themselves, right? And they don't have anybody to talk to. And if their kids are busy and they can't check on them, they really don't have anybody to talk to. So I like the idea that they can go buy their groceries and take a little bit longer at the checkout just to have some sort of human interaction. Do you guys feel that human interaction is important for your health? Yeah. Do you guys see streams as the way for human interaction? Do you feel like us as live streamers, we're doing a good job to provide that human interaction for you guys? Yeah. That's why I have my stream, so you guys can meet each other. All right, my last bit of news for the positive news segment. It's a story, actually. We're going to move into story time, all right? Put a one in the comments if you're ready for this amazing story. Karen says yes, but it depends on the streamer. All right, I want to show you guys a picture. So chat, I'm going to have to move away from you for just a second just to show this picture, because I want you to keep this picture in mind while I talk about it so you can see the guy, okay? All right, that's him young, that's him old. All right, do you see? That's him young, that's him old. Can you guys see? Everybody got a good look. We're talking about this gentleman. He calculated that every hour of sleep meant 30 people would die. So he stopped sleeping. Paris, 1944. The city looked normal on the surface. Cafes were open. Trains were running. People walked to work. But in the shadows, families were disappearing. A red stamp on an identity card could end a life. It was enough. Enough to send someone to a camp. Enough to separate parents from children. Enough to erase an entire future. And one 17-year-old boy decided to fight that stamp. His name was Adolfo Kaminsky. That's who I just showed you. He had been an apprentice dyer before the war. He understood chemicals. He knew how ink worked. One day he discovered something dangerous. With the right mix of acids, he could erase official ink without damaging paper. Not smudge it, not blur it, erase it completely. The resistance realized what that meant. They hid him in an attic laboratory in Paris. He was in the attic, a lab in the attic. One small room, one weak light bulb, bottles of acid, stacks of blank papers, and endless requests. 500 birth certificates, 300 ration cards, papers for children leaving tonight. Adolfo worked alone. No guards, no weapons, no protection. Just chemistry and courage. The fumes burned his eyes. His hands cracked. His lungs filled with bleach. But he kept going. Then he made a calculation that changed everything. It took him about 2 minutes to forge one document. That meant 30 documents per hour. So he told himself, if I sleep for 1 hour, 30 people will die. And he believed it. So he stopped resting. He worked 18 hours a day, then 20, then 24, sometimes 48 hours without sleep. During one emergency, 300 Jewish children needed papers before a raid. Adolfo stayed awake for 2 days straight. No food, no breaks. He forged until his vision blurred, until his hand locked in pain, until he collapsed face first onto the desk. When he woke up, he did not cry. He went back to work. By the time Paris was liberated, he had created documents that saved more than 14,000 people. Men, women, children. He never accepted money. He said charging for life was immoral. After the war, he walked away quietly. No medals, no speeches, no fame. He became a photographer, lived simply, told almost no one what he had done. Even his own children did not know for decades. While soldiers fought with rifles, this teenager fought with ink and acid. While others destroyed, he erased. While the world burned, he stayed awake. One boy, one room, One light bulb, 14,000 futures saved. Adolfo Kaminsky, 1944. What do you guys think about that? Thank you. Isn't that amazing? What does that do for you? Does it motivate you in some way? Does it inspire you? Does it make you wonder, what small thing can I do today that could be of some impact to someone? Okay, maybe you're not going to save 14,000 people, but can you save one person? Can you help one person? Something to think about. All right, let's get our goddess guidance message for the week. Welcome in, guys. We are coming down to the end of the Uma's Lotus Lounge segment. Remember, if you'd like to get a reading at the end to see what is Spirit Guide's message to you, please feel free to drop that wheel. If you're on MeetMe, drop that whale. If you are on TikTok, keep grinding and force good results matter the cost. Good results matter the cost, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. I love this card. Wow. So the goddess that is with us this week. I'm going to tell you why I love this card and why I love this message. The goddess that chose us for this week is the goddess Damara, and she is about guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. Message from Damara for this week. One can be gentle and a fierce protector simultaneously. My vigilant focus on keeping harmony within households stems from my desire for children to maintain their youthful awe and sense of wonder. How else will we ensure that they'll see and speak with the fairies? How else will we foster the continuation of children's healing laughter? Join with me in guiding the children, and you'll see your own imagination sparked by these amazing young beings. Your own enthusiasm and youthful spirit attracts the spirits, children's respect and attention. I'll lead you towards young people who can benefit from your help. I love that I got this card for this week because this whole week I've been on this kind of like um I've been on TikTok watching the Epstein files. Let's just say it that way. I've been watching the Epstein files, and it has been damaging to my soul, right? Absolutely damaging to my soul. Because to see what's been happening to these children. And as a mom, it's breaking my heart. So I started doing this thing, and I feel like this is confirmation for what I'm doing. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Wanderer. What what I started doing is I started imagining how I could help these children. And I said, well, I can't help the ones that are gone. They're in a happily ever after place. But the ones that are still being trafficked, what can I do to help them? Of course, I prayed for their release, you know, but I got really specific with it. I started imagining that the abductors and the abusers started making mistakes, you know, leaving a door open, leaving a phone nearby, something. And then I started filling these little children with courage to pick up that phone and call 911 and leave it on and hide it somewhere so they can get the location. To just walk out that door and get somewhere safe and get away and then know how they got there so they can give away the location. I just started putting these thoughts out to the universe because my belief is that if I'm at a high vibration and I put these thoughts out to the universe, then they can be intercepted and picked up and then actually lived. What do you guys think? And then I think if I share these information, these ideas with you guys would like the ideas and you guys will start thinking that too and start putting it out into the universe. So I like that we got the goddess Damara this week in terms of protecting the little children, right? It just feels to be on point. All right, guys, we're coming down to the end of the show. Just make sure, Karen, Wanderer, don't go anywhere. You guys will be getting messages of the week for yourself. Before we end our show, though, let's give you the self-care tip of the week and a daily, weekly challenge. All right? So, my self-care tip for the week is about your nervous system check-ins. Self-care is not always about adding things to your routine, doing things. Self-care can also be about paying attention to what your body is already telling you. So this week, I'm giving you the self-care focus on a nervous system check-in. Throughout the day, pause briefly and notice how your body feels. Pay attention to your body right now. Is there any part of your body that's hurting? Bring your attention to that. You can make small adjustments, right? You can relax tight muscles, slow your breathing. If you're being overstimulated, you can choose to walk away. These short pauses help regulate your nervous system and prevent stress from building into overwhelm. How many of you get overwhelmed, right? Put a one in the comments. Yeah. When your nervous system feels supported, your thoughts become clearer, your emotions more stable, and your energy more grounded. Practicing this consistently allows self-care to become preventative rather than reactive. So that is your self-care tip of the week, to create some nervous system check-ins. You could set an alarm on your phone to go off like every 2 hours or 3 hours. You just sit there and say, all right, what is paining? Oh, my right elbow is paining. Okay, elbow, I'm aware that you're paining. I don't know what that is. Could you speak to me? Can you let me know what this pain is about? Right? Just little things like that. And finally, let's end with your challenge. If you're so up for taking it, this is your challenge for the week. I challenge you to practice the 3 pause practice. So what this is you're going to commit to taking 3 intentional pauses each day. They can be tied to natural transitions, like before you eat a meal, before you check your phone, before you go to bed. You can make them intentional. During each pause, take one slow breath. Soften your body and ask yourself what you need in that moment. The goal is not to fix or change anything, but to build awareness and presence. By the end of the week, reflect on whether you feel more regulated, less reactive, or more connected to yourself. Right? So put a one in the comments if you're going to take this challenge up this week. I know I will be doing it for sure. All right. I got one person. Thank you, Karen. You and I, you and I will be less stressed next week, and the rest of them will be completely stressed. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the Lotus Lounge. This is the relaunch and the rebrand. I hope that you guys like the pace of the show today. I hope that you enjoyed what I brought to you, and it gives you a positive start to your week. Many blessings. And as Bad Bunny said, God bless.